In a country which used to revere women so much, and we used to respect women so much, how these things are happening.
India is one of the most dangerous 5 countries of the world for women. Around 90 cases of sexual violence and rape are committed every day in India.
Why this is happening is that the common man is so forgetful.
We developed a culture, we developed a society where sex had been treated as the greatest taboo.
Anyone who is trying to find their true partner, to find their soulmate, what is your advice? First of all, is there a thing called soulmate?
Getting a soulmate in life, you will have to learn to live at the level of your soul.
Hello and welcome, friends, to Sakshi Shree Wisdom Podcast. I am Dheeraj Madan, an IITian and MBA from IIM Lucknow, and I am in conversation with Sakshi Shree, a spiritual master and mystic, a visionary, and a social reformer who leads the Science Divine movement to spread the message of conscious living throughout this world. He also runs Science Divine Foundation to do the groundwork himself of spreading education, eradicating hunger, and promote healthy living. Thank you so much, Guruji, for inviting me again on this series of talks of tough questions with an IITian. I got some really great insights in the first half of our conversation, and I am equally excited to continue this conversation with you.
So nice. Heartiest welcome, Dheeraj. Heartiest welcome.
Thank you. Thank you so much, Guruji. So, I will start off with a little controversial topic. You would be aware of a heinous crime incident which happened in West Bengal. I am referring to the rape of a doctor in a hospital premises. Uh, in ancient India and in India in general, we usually revered women, and names of women are actually taken before the names of men in our Purans as well, right? For example, Radha
Yeah.
Krishna,
Quite true, quite true.
Sitaram, and a particular verse from Manu Smriti comes to my mind, which goes like this: Yatra pujyante naryastu ramante tatra devta.
Yeah.
So my question is that in a country which used to revere women so much, and we used to respect women so much, how these things are happening.
Quite meaningful, Dheeraj. It had been a very shocking and shameful event. More so, it happened somewhere around the Independence Day of India. And it was somewhere around Raksha Bandhan also, which is a famous festival where brothers of India take a firm commitment for love and lifelong protection for their sisters. And you see, every time this festival is followed by Durga Puja. Again, one of the most famous festivals of India where we worship the divinity in dimensions of women form. So, on the one hand, as you said, Yatra Naryastu Pujyante Ramante Tatra Devata, we have been children of India who worship women as much as treating her like the divine energy prevailing all over the existence. She is an embodiment of the absolute energy, absolute truth, as per our philosophical wisdom, too. But at the same time, it was shocking to find that India is one of the most dangerous 5 countries of the world for women due to rape and violence cases against women. I was also surprised to find that around 90 cases of sexual violence and rape are committed every day in India. And this figure is in the light of the fact that statistical reports suggest that 77% of the cases are not reported by the Indian females. They don't report it largely because of the fears of retaliation, largely because of the fears of social stigma, and more so the highly expensive process of judiciary and a history of rare convictions is again responsible for such a situation. Now, the question arises as you asked as to why is it so? In fact, at the very root of the whole problem, I would like to emphasize that the socio-cultural dimensions of our country are very important in this regard. We developed a culture, we developed a society where sex had been treated as the greatest taboo. It was treated as good as the greatest sin. And treating natural desire, treating natural urge of all the creatures, which is the urge for sex, as something as sin, made the whole scenario quite painful. In fact, the society started repressing sex, and this repression and suppression of sex was projected as a facade on the morality of the country. And because of this repression, we also started treating men and women as separate species, as if they are quite different species from each other. We started doing, we started separate schools for women, separate houses for trainings, and everything we started doing on the basis of gender. That too created a feeling of separation and distancing of men and women from each other. This separation and suppression of the inner urge ultimately became volcanic in its real sense. When you suppress something, when you repress something beyond a limit, then it is bound to have eruptions in formidable dimensions, like the violence and rape incidents on women. Secondly, I personally feel that we did not develop any comprehensive system of education about sex. At the same time, we have now made erotic literature, provocative books, and dangerous pornography available in abundance. No doubt, this scenario is compelling to create conceptions of perversion. This is bound to create distorted perceptions of sex. And because of the distorted perceptions and perversions created by this overall current situation in the country and all over the world, such situations of female violence on grounds of sex resulting into rape, murder are becoming rampant not only in India but all over the world. So we need to strike at the very root of the whole problem. The third dimension, which I feel to be very important as a factor for the rise of such situation in India, is the development of a patriarchal society on the basis of gender inequality, which is always favoring the males. And it is because of this a number of atrocities have been committed on women of India in the name of social stigma, in the name of slut shaming, in the name of trivializing incidents of sexual assault. It is because of this factor that victim blaming also happens very frequently in India. In addition to these factors, I personally feel that there is absolute lack of social support also for women. There is also lack of legal support. And very many women, those who belong to poorer sections of society, they cannot dare go to the police. And they are also not even confident that appropriate action will be taken by the police or the government. So all these factors have been largely responsible for creating such a situation.
I think Guruji, you have broken it down, very systematically and very scientifically. What I'm understanding is, A, there is repression of sex, and particularly, I guess, in more in the eastern part of the world than the western part of the world. B, education on sexuality and sexual topics is not being given to the children at the right time when they are growing up, neither by properly by the parents or by the education system which we have designed ourselves, right? Third is, there is a setup of patriarchal society in most parts of the world where males are given advantage over females, and that further creates a problem. Fourth is obviously that our legal system is not that well suited to even handle these cases, and that should change. Actually, that should have changed years ago, and that should change at a very rapid pace. But the first,
Quite true.
yeah, but the first part which you said, I want to get a little bit more into it. Repression of sex, now again, that is a controversial topic in itself, because even if someone speaks about it on a podcast or on a YouTube channel, people would start like hateful comments against that person itself, right? That this is our culture, and how dare you question the culture itself. My view is that this is not actually our culture, the repression, because you see historical evidence which is visible in front of our eyes. If you go to earlier caves like Ajanta Ellora, you can see there itself, right, where sexuality was not repressed. You can see the examples there. And similarly, the model implemented or which is prevalent in the Western world is that they have made it a little easier and not repressed sex that much, which has been repressed in the eastern part of the world. My question is the what is the correct model? Is Western part of the world doing something better than us? And what needs to be followed exactly on this?
Quite interesting, Dheeraj. But I would like to tell you that East and West has not been separate in this regard. The idea of repression and suppression was not confined only to Hindu culture and philosophy. It was not confined only to the Indian culture and philosophy only. We were the first who taught the science of sublimating our sex energy. But in the Western world, the Christianity and Judaism, whatever they happened in Islam, everywhere this sex was taken to be something as sinful, and it was repressed and suppressed in all the societies. So all over the world there had been a rebellion against this suppression, against this repression. And that is why permissive societies started emerging in Western cultures. But permissiveness is not the solution. The solution lies somewhere deeper. And that is where we, the Indians, can play the leading role. We were the first on this earth to say that the energy of sex is the only energy available to humans and to all the creatures of the universe. The same energy which creates and gives birth to progeny, the same energy can be elevated, and by sublimating the sex energy, we can transform this energy into divine energy, which can be transformed into love and compassion. And this love and compassion ultimately turns into blissfulness. That is what we call even godliness. So, we have been worshipping the female forms of the divinity only to convey this message that the divinity is already available to all of us within ourselves in the form of our energy of sex. That is why Lord Krishna could say that I am the energy of Kamdev, the god of beauty, which is the cause of sexual reproduction in all the creatures. And the essence of the Eastern message for transformation of this energy is that before the door of sex opens, that is somewhere around the age of 14, when the children become adolescents, that adolescence is the age before which another door of sublimation of energy, of upward movement of energy from the base chakra towards the uppermost chakra can be opened. Around the age of 14, there is all possibility that the door of sex would start opening. The sex energy will start giving pushes. And that is the age when the child starts feeling the need of the opposite sex. For the first time, the child becomes conscious of that energy. Before the door of sex opens, there is a possibility. Another door can be opened. The door of sex, once it opens, your energy starts flowing downwards and running outwards through that door. That is what we call sex. If before that, another door of the flow of energy is opened, then your life energy starts moving upwards from the base chakra. And that door can be opened. And the only way to open that door is the science of conscious living through meditation. If we can teach our children to meditate from early childhood, then they will become masters of their own life energy. Their life energy will start moving upwards towards the sahasrara. And this is a very powerful energy. If you can control it, you can learn to use it when needed. And if you can learn not to use it when it is not needed, then you can establish mastery over your own self, over your own being. And once you become a master of yourself, then no such incidents of sexual assault and crime can ever arise in life. That is why I had been educating since long, nurturing childhood with love and meditation. If we can nurture our children with love and meditation by practicing ourselves as parents the art and science of meditation, we can make this meditation a powerful means of life transformation, and we can transform our houses into temples, and our life and living can become meditative. Our life and living can be made divine, and thereby no need of sitting for hours of worship or rituals or any other thing would be required. Your pattern of life and living will itself become meditative. It will itself become divine, and that will pave the way for emergence of millions of Buddhas on this planet. That is the aim of science divine movement. And fundamentally, it is based on nurturing childhood with love and meditation.
Very beautifully answered, Guruji. Unfortunately, though, at this time, Indian education system is not even teaching properly about what sex is, what are the right methods to do it, and what are the protective measures which one needs to take. What you have described is very beautiful, but this is not even mentioned or taught anywhere to us, that how the energy can be used.
That is why I say an environment is to be created. A scientific temper about religion, spirituality, and divinity must be spread all over the world. And once we can do it on a large scale, people will be bound to take cognizance of this fact. People are so badly engrossed in their day to day hard realities of life that they fail to provide attention in all these creative dimensions of life. We are not striking at the root of the problem. We are focusing on offering severe penalties and severe punishments so as to make a deterrent impact on the growth of such crimes. No doubt some deterrent impact will come up with those measures, but this will not end the problem. This will aggravate the problem in several other ways. Suppose you force the flow of waters of the Ganges to stop. You can stop it for some time. Then it will again find out some other ways and means to flow out.
Even more powerful.
Even more powerfully. Yes, even more powerfully. So we are making ad hoc arrangements, temporary measures to handle the crisis, while the roots of the crisis are much deeper. We will have to take our attention to those depths. Otherwise, we won't be able to solve the problem. The problem will grow in greater dimensions and would prove highly disastrous for the whole humanity.
Right. What I've understood, Guruji, is A, sex is not that bad. B, sexual energy need not be repressed.
Yeah.
C, the energy which is there, it is inherent in us, it has been given us to by the nature, and it can
And it
actually,
can be transformed.
yes,
And it must be transformed. And if we don't take steps to transform this energy, it will have disastrous, more and more disastrous impact on humanity. It will not create violence in the form of sexual atrocities, rapes, and murders. It will also lead to large scale of destruction of humanity through different types of warfare. Because if this energy is not managed and transformed, if it is not utilized properly, it will lead to violence. It will take the form of jealousy, it will take the form of hatred, it will take the form of separatism, it will take the form of violence. So many evils will come out of it. All the evils of present day humanity are the natural byproduct of our not being able to manage this energy.
correct. So rather than repressing it and not utilizing it, and
We have to focus on sublimating it.
we have to focus to push it
We have to
upward.
focus on transforming it.
Okay.
The lust can be transformed into love. Love can be further taken to become compassion,
Hmm.
and compassion can further go ahead and become bliss.
Very beautiful. Very beautiful. And I guess, and I'm not sure about this, but I think even with the process which you are describing, that the sexual energy is flowing downward, and if we work through meditation and the tools which you have described, and it can then start flowing upward, it should help even in other parts of our life, like, if anyone is wanting greater growth or opening up of their creativity, that energy should help in the broader
Jealousy,
aspects.
anger, greed, all these things will automatically get managed,
Correct.
which are the fundamental problems of human existence.
So even with this, if someone just works with this energy, a lot of their own problems can be solved.
Yeah, that is why I say first you have to change the man. Only then the problems would disappear. With the same man living on this planet, the same problems will continue to grow in different, more dangerous dimensions.
Correct. And not even on this earth, Guruji, people are now planning to go to other planets, right? You would know that people are planning, and specifically there are organizations leading this initiative from US.
Okay, that is one thing, but first we will have to learn to live peacefully, joyfully on this planet. Only then we would be able to live and reach other planets also playfully and joyfully, and will be able to make the optimum use. Otherwise, even other planets we will destroy. We will reach there and we will start destroying
Yes, that is what my
it.
question was. For example, Elon Musk is, spending all his energy to build this company, SpaceX, to ensure that, we reach Mars somewhere by 2030, and there would be rockets, like there are planes carrying us from United
That's
States.
beautiful. We are planning to progress in the material dimensions in unimaginable ways.
Yes,
But the other dimension, the one who is growing materially, we are not taking care of the one who is to be provided with all these facilities, whether the inner well being of the person is ensured or not. Until and unless we ensure the inner well being of every individual on this planet, all the progress made in the outside material world will become disastrous for humanity. the nuclear weapons will ultimately destroy those who created it, who invented it, simply because the one who is going to use it is not mentally, emotionally, and energetically in order. First, we will have to ensure his inner well being. Otherwise, if inner well being is not ensured, he will start behaving like a madman. All madness is because of lack of inner well being. And greater power, greater scientific energy in the hands of a madman will prove to be a source of great destruction on this planet.
Correct. So, what Elon Musk is planning to do to take us all to Mars? My question is this the right time before we fix humans on Earth and we take humans to other planets? Would we destroy that planet also? Since we are on the verge of destruction of this planet, we can't even take
Very
care of this
true.
planet.
Our all efforts must go on simultaneously in both the directions. Let us plan for the outside, but never ignore the inside. First, set yourself in order from within, and then do everything to grow outside and reach into the skies. There is no paradox. Suppose you are living a life of 24 hours. You give 1 hour for your physical exercise. If you give a little time for your vital energy to work well within you, then also take care of the energy of the consciousness which is activating this physiology. And if you act upon your life energies to elevate them, to sublimate them, you need 1 hour of centering of your energy within you. And that is what I call as meditation.
Very beautifully answered, Guruji. भीतर से संन्यास, बाहर से संसार.
Yes, that is the way.
That is the
And
maxim.
both must go on together. Both both must be taken care of simultaneously.
Correct. Okay. Understood.
Hmm.
Getting back to India, Guruji, what we were talking about, where we started from, the rape cases happening. My view is such cases happen. For example, in 2012, Nirbhaya case happened, and then this case happened now, and then there is this huge uproar created in the entire country, and we do strikes and we ensure that justice is given to the victim. But after some time, this all dies down, and mostly things get back to how they were, and people get busy in their own lives again, and the cases keep happening simultaneously. As you quoted, 90 cases are still happening every day. These are just like one or two cases which get into the mainstream news media, and then this whole issue is created. So why this is happening is that the common man is so forgetful that when it is coming in media, then we remember, and afterwards we forget? Or is it that we have got so busy in our own lives that it doesn't matter to us unless it happens to me personally or to someone personally? Then only we wake up and see that this thing has happened. Otherwise we don't care if it is not happening to me.
Well, my dear Dheeraj, the basic question is not that of remembering or forgetting something. The fundamental question is that of changing the inner chemistry. You can remember something, you cannot remember thing. That is not the question. The question is what you are, who you are, how you are. You never forget that anger is bad. Anger will create problems for your life. You are always having the knowledge of anger being something troublesome. You always know that jealousy will take you to unknown troubles. You always know that greed is not going to help you, it is going to harm you. But still, you manage to fall victim to anger, greed, jealousy, possessiveness. All these problems are there, and these problems have become a part of your life and living, despite the fact that you are fully aware of them. It does not mean whether you had forgotten to be angry or you remembered not to be angry. That is not the question.
It just rises.
The question is whether your inner chemistry has changed or not. If it has not changed, you will continue to do all these things. And these things will continue to grow in more dangerous dimensions. The need of the moment is to strike at the root and to change the inner chemistry of the individuals all over the world. It is not a national problem, it is a problem of the whole humanity. We need to change their inner chemistry by ensuring their inner well being at physical, mental, emotional, and soul levels. And for the same, I have launched this Science Divine movement for sound body, sound mind, and self realization.
I get it. So if we fix ourselves, we'll fix the world.
Yeah, that is the way. That is the way and the only way. All other shortcut measures are meaningless.
Hmm.
Today or tomorrow they are going to fail. And even now they are failing.
Certainly is.
Yeah,
Certainly.
yeah.
Certainly. So, Guruji, continuing the conversation of fixing ourselves, a lot of us are in the process of finding a true partner. We have all seen Dilwale Dulhaniya Le Jayenge in our childhoods, and we have all been inspired by that movie. And we are all in the process of finding that dream boy or girl, our Simran or Raj. But even with the advent of all this modern technology, dating apps like Tinder, Bumble, etc., it has become even more difficult to find that true partner in this world. So, anyone who is trying to find their true partner, to find their soulmate, what is your advice? First of all, is there a thing called soulmate? And second, if she or he exists, what is your advice to find that partner sooner?
Quite relevant and meaningful question, Dheeraj. It is really shocking that despite all academic excellence that has grown in modern times, and despite all extraordinary growth of science and technology in the recent past, we have still not been able to devise right ways to find right life partner in life. Everybody is groping in the dark, and the irony of the situation is most of you are failing in the process. Instead of spotting out the right partner, something wrong, something otherwise is coming to hands. no doubt it is the fundamental question of humanity as on today, as I feel at the depth of my heart. Because if you cannot manage a beautiful and joyful life and living with someone with whom you have to spend the whole life, how can you live in the true sense? And if you don't have such a life partner, your whole birth, your whole life will be destroyed. It will be involved into such undesirable dimensions that you will be diverted from the path of your life fulfillment,
Hmm.
from the path of your reaching the destination. So the question is very important. You have asked the guidance for choosing the right partner.
Yes.
And I keep meeting young boys, young girls, and very often they are coming to me. They are often coming to me with a well prepared long list of qualities which they must have in their spouse. A long list of qualities which they are expecting from
Yes.
their spouse. Somebody is asking for a perfect match.
Yeah.
Somebody says, Gurudev, bless me for a soulmate. Somebody comes and says, Gurudev, today I met a guy, I felt as if we are made for each other. But on the basis of my own authority, I can say
Yeah.
all these concepts are only a joke or just a figment of imagination. The idea of getting a soulmate,
Hmm.
some people say no soulmate sort of thing is there and it is not available, it cannot be available.
Hmm.
But I have to tell you one very interesting thing.
Yes.
Soulmates can be available.
Okay.
But for getting a soulmate in life, you will have to learn to live at the level of your soul. You are living at the level of your body,
Hmm.
or you are living at the level of your mind utmost. You are not living even at the level of your heart.
Right.
But you are searching a soulmate. You don't know what is soul. You don't know even the slightest experience of being with the soul or in the soul. Throughout the whole life, people remain deprived of the experience of their souls. How can they have a soulmate?
Hmm.
How can they find a soulmate? But once you learn to live at the level of your soul, through a journey from body to head, head to heart, and heart to soul, that is feasible. That is what I am trying to make practical in
Hmm.
human life
Hmm.
for the whole humanity. And for that, an in depth understanding of human mind and human life and human energies is mandatory.
Okay.
So, not going too much into another dimension,
Yes.
you must be feeling your question is quite mundane and quite concerned with day to day
Yeah.
considerations of right, wrong, good, bad,
Some practical tips.
comfortable, uncomfortable.
Yes.
So I am telling you, Do not be over choosy.
Okay.
If you are over choosy and you are too much concerned with your list of qualities,
Yes.
suppose even if you happen to get some spouse with all those qualities,
Hmm.
then you will find a robot, not a living organism,
Hmm.
to share your joys and woes together.
Yes.
And secondly, if you are over choosy, over concerned with your lists, at least in this life, you will not get one. You will have to postpone your wedding till your next life. To be very simple, I have to tell you something of the depth of my experience.
Mhm.
You must be having some aims, objectives of your life. You must be wanting to be something. You must be wanting to do something. You must be wanting to become something.
Hmm.
So be crystal first about yourself as to what you want to be, what you want to have in this very life. And once you become quite clear about it,
Hmm.
then try to look for a person as to what extent that person can be helpful for you in achieving those objects. At the same time, you can think of involving her energies for yourself and contributing from your side your energies to her well being. Once you get to understand your own needs, her needs, and how both of you will be spending your life energies
Hmm.
in what direction, and you will be able to make a good mix of both
Okay.
so that both of you can learn to live in more integrated manner as single individual in two bodies. And if both of you relish each other's life projects, it would certainly be very easy for you to always interact, integrate, and mix in such a way that the whole journey of your life will become joyful because both of you will be assets for each other.
Hmm.
But that too should not be predominantly overpowering in your mind because you have to live life in your own way. She has to live life in her own way.
Hmm.
You have to make space for her and you have to make available to you to her for everything. She has to make available to you for everything. My simple point is as to how much you can both of you can contribute each other in your life journey. This point can be taken into account.
Okay.
But that is also not something like absolutely necessary point.
Hmm.
It is also to be taken very conveniently, very comfortably, very loosely to put into the nitty gritty dimensions of your togetherness.
Okay. Okay. So what I have understood is that to find the right person, it is a journey. Now many of us are stuck in this journey where initially we go through different partners to reach that elusive soulmate or whatever you call that perfect partner which fits together naturally and organically. But in this journey, Guruji, there is a lot of energy which is being spent, a lot of heartbreaks, for particularly for both boys and girls. Girls get a little bit more emotional, and similarly with boys, you would see there are like these ashiks, right? Which suffer heartbreak, and then they can't even focus on work, and then they go into the cycle of sadness and depression over a particular girl. In this journey, how do we make this journey a little bit more smoother? And since you mentioned the list, right, I would tell you, because I have a little experience in this area and I have talked to different people also. The list basically goes like this: if a male is trying to find a female, the top of the list would be the girl should be hot. Second, the girl should be intelligent. Third, the girl should be a little bit funny so she can understand and joke together. And fourth, she should know a little bit of household work so that you know a long-term partner can be found. Now,
But a girl came to me and she said, I want a boy, Guruji, who is tall,
okay.
who is slim, who has got a sense of good humor.
Hmm.
And she had a number of things in the list. I felt amused and I thought it will take the whole life for her
To find that.
to find the fulfillment of her list and choices. What I have to tell you in a general way, if you are already on the journey of finding a right life partner, you should start living a happy, a joyful,
Hmm.
and celebrating life.
Okay.
Once you start learning joyfully and celebrating every moment of your life, you know, there is a fundamental principle of this universe that the like attracts the like.
Hmm.
Such similar person will be attracted towards you, and the universe will send you such a person to you. And when both of you will meet and decide for partnership,
Hmm.
you will experience that two dancing souls are meeting, and your life, life of togetherness, will be filled with joy. It is such a fundamental rule which has never proved wrong. I have experimented it, I have guided it, and those who have practiced it,
Hmm.
they have experienced its miracles. And one thing more, learn the art of remaining joyful in your aloneness.
Okay.
If you can experience the joy which is lying hidden within yourself, then you will achieve some treasure. Then you will have something to give to the other. Then you will have something to share with the other. And as long as you don't have something to give, as long as you don't have something to share, you will be approaching your spouse as a beggar.
Hmm.
You will be simply searching that what you get from her. You will always be thinking of extracting love from her.
Correct.
And in that case, beggars have never been able to have the joy of a right life partnership. Right life partnership will be possible only when you have gather the treasure of joy which lies hidden within you. This will attract your life partner in such a big way that you cannot imagine. And fourthly, I want to tell you. And fourthly, I have to tell you, Dheeraj, just let the urge of loving somebody arise within you. When this urge arises, it works like a magnet to attract the right person towards you. The urge to love someone is very rare. The urge which majority of the people feel and find within themselves is the urge to be loved by someone. The physical urge for sex may arise. The emotional urge of relating with someone may arise. The financial urge of security through someone may arise. But the inner urge of loving somebody can arise only when you dive deeper into your being. And once you happen to dive deeper into your being, you will be able to come up with such an ecstatic experience that you will need the presence of sharing the same with someone. And once it happens, only then the right person will be attracted towards you, and only then, once the right person is attracted, you will have a right life and living with that person. Attracting the right person is not the problem. Any person who will be attracted towards you when your inner well being is healthier, richer, you will transform that person into the most beautiful person on this earth.
Thank you so much, Guruji, for explaining this so beautifully. I think I have understood a lot about how things are happening in the country, and definitely on how we should approach our life and what things we can do to get a true life partner. Uh, Thank you so much, and thank you, Guruji.
So nice. Thank you so much, Dheeraj. My love, my blessings.
Thank you.